Jasmina.
Jasmina.
Yes.
Jasmine.
Well, what's your name?
My name's Steve Moy. My last name.
Moy?
Moy, M-O-Y.
Rhymes with my first name, Noy.
No, yeah.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Married to Reality. It's the Married at First Sight edition, of course. I'm your co-host, John, here with my wife and co-host. It's the one and only Teresa.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? Wow. I love the new intro. Good job.
Look at how fast I made that happen.
Well, let's be honest. It was my idea, but you made it happen.
It was your idea. Well, teamwork makes the dream work.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Exactly.
I feel like we should, well, not that needs any explanation, but I feel like we should explain the impetus, the reason behind adding some difference, some differentiation between these openings. This will be the first place we announce it. This will be the first place we announce it. So you guys, you MAFS fans are privy to some information before anyone else is. Although if you follow us on Instagram, which you should be doing at Married to Reality Pod, if you follow us on Instagram, you might have an idea of what we're about to announce, which is that we're going to be covering another new show.
Woohoo!
Listen to that excitement in Teresa's voice.
I am excited because it's a fun show.
It's a fun show. It was actually a show suggested to us by a friend. A friend of ours reached out to us on Instagram.
Yeah, guys, that's why we always ask. Talk to us on Instagram.
You never know. You just reach out, share your thoughts, and maybe we'll start covering a show thanks to you. And yeah, so one of our friends reached out to us the other day, Amy, and said, hey, I don't know if you guys watch this show called Below Deck.
Woohoo!
But it's a wild show, and the third season of Below Deck Sailing Yacht just started. So if you guys don't watch it, you should, and maybe you should podcast about it. So Teresa and I talked very quickly, said, that seems like a good idea. Darcy and Stacy's coming to an end. We need another show because we've gone from 4 shows a week, and then it's going to go down to 2 after Darcy. And we just don't know what to do with our lives when it gets that low.
Plus, I've never seen it before, but when Amy suggested it, I talked to John, and John's like, yeah, I used to watch it. It's a great show. So I went ahead and I watched the episode, and I loved it.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, yes, let's cover it, because not just because it's interesting and it's something a little different, it also involves foreigners.
We love the foreigners.
This is what we are all about. Guys, if you didn't know, by the way, I'm foreign. Czech Republic, bitches. And so this is great. Like, I love it. I love that there are foreigners involved, and there's still going to be some relationships from what I saw and what I read.
Why are we covering MAFS then if we're only about that foreign life?
Not only about the foreigners, but we like the foreigners.
Yeah,
so I'm saying
we do.
It's another reason why why I thought it's a good fit for us.
That's a good point. Yeah, we try to cover shows where we can shed a little personal insight into them. And so we started with 90 Day Fiancé, obviously. We are an international couple. We went through the green card process. Then we got to cover the spinoffs, of course, Darcy and Stacy.
Yeah.
There's some international love there. Single life, of course. MAFS, just as a married couple, I think we can.
I was just going to say, we're married. They're married.
Shine a little light.
And it's a great show, guys. Let's be honest.
And let's be honest there. And yeah, now with Below Deck, we got the international aspect. We got luxury. I'm a man of luxury. If you guys have heard me talk about Jesse of the single, I'm a man of luxury. So yachts. And yeah, it's just a crazy dumpster fire. And we're all about that first and foremost.
And there is a way I can slightly relate to those people. And I'll talk about it in the podcast.
Yeah, let's save some for the pod.
I've never done that, but I'll tell you how I can relate.
You're not good on boats. Forget never working on a boat. You've barely been on a boat.
Oh, I've been on a boat, and I spent the whole time in the bathroom because I got seasick, guys. I can be on a freaking pontoon, and I'm gonna be throwing up.
On a pontoon.
So, but there is a different aspect of what I'm saying, how I can relate. Well, not even relate, understand.
Understand?
Some of these people understand. So we'll get there when we drop the show.
Oh, you're not
so-
going to share?
No.
Oh.
That's a tease.
Tune in.
It's a tease.
Okay, well then we should tell them. So because we're kind of a week behind, not really, because the first episode came out this week, but we're not gonna always post it when we post this first one, because I think we're gonna post this first one Friday,
Yes.
which will be tomorrow or today, depending on when you're listening to this podcast. I think this one will come out, this first Below Deck podcast will come out Friday evening, but then moving forward, Wednesday-ish.
Yeah.
Wednesday mornings, early morning, afternoon. So plan on that if you guys are Below Deck fans. If not, if you've never watched the show like Teresa, she watched one episode and she is
I'm hooked.
fully on board.
I'm hooked. Oh, yeah. I'm fully on board.
Fully on board. I can't wait for all the new sailing puns to
Ooh.
come. Yeah. So, guys, again, we put the poll up. I don't even think we mentioned that. We put a poll up on Instagram at Married to Reality Pod. We said we're thinking of covering the show. What do you guys think? Overwhelmingly, it was yes, cover it. So we are. But that's all to say you should be following us on Instagram at Married to Reality Pod, because that's where that's where things like this happen. If you want to have a voice in this podcast and we want you guys to have a voice in it, it's happening on Instagram. So
For
follow
sure.
us at Married to Reality Pod.
And thanks again, Amy, for a
thanks.
great suggestion.
And I'm sure we'll shout you out again on the actual Below Deck.
For sure.
Okay. Also, once you're following the Instagram, make sure you're following the podcast wherever you're listening. So easy to do. Look down and smash that follow button.
Guys, smash it like it's as hot as our new intro song, which is our original song with just some of our maths friends saying things.
Yeah, I think I'm liking it. I might have to tighten it up or something. It might have been a little bit long, but it's a work in progress.
I agree.
Good. Okay, it's a work in progress, but just something so when you press play, you know, okay, this is the podcast I'm listening to.
This is our podcast. This is Teresa and John. The Maths edition. Like the song is telling and those little sayings gonna be telling.
There
so
you go.
we're just trying to make everyone's life easier, guys.
Especially ours, because then we'll hear it and it'll remind
It
us.
triggers.
What are we talking about?
What we're talking about.
Yeah.
And I told
Very
John
Pavlovian.
what he did for Darcy and Stacy, and he actually didn't tell me the first time he did it. He just played it and I like died laughing.
Yeah.
And I kept telling him that's amazing. We should definitely do it for different versions of the pod. And with the new rebrand, now covering different shows, now's the time.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So thank you for that. Thank you for that encouragement. And I hope you guys like it. If you guys have any thoughts, because we're going to need to do one for Below Deck. So if you guys have any thoughts, although I think it's kind of an all new season, all new cast of characters. So I'm going to have to go in and grab.
Some are older
I
characters.
know we got Captain Glenn.
Well, Captain Glenn, and also some of the guys been working with Captain Glenn before.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll
Listen,
save it.
I watched it.
I
I loved it.
Let's save it for the pod. Okay. Last but not least, if you haven't left a review, please do. Okay. It means more than you would ever know. So please, if you haven't left one, a rating, a review, you can do it on Apple, Spotify. Please, it means a lot to us.
Yes.
Okay. I'm excited to talk about this episode.
Oh, yeah.
What an
Oh,
episode.
yeah.
Well, woo-wee. I mean, drama throughout, but at the end, just jaw-dropping.
It also makes me feel a little better about Chris and Alyssa exiting.
Because
pretty much.
They didn't really exit.
Yeah, well, they're still in there, but they're gonna divorce, right? But there are other people who bring the drama, so...
Right.
As much as I miss the major Chris and Alyssa drama when she's absolutely nuts and she just keeps lying to the cameras. And I love how the producers keep throwing back she says, oh, I did ABC, but they throw back a video that she literally didn't.
I know.
And I love it.
Does she not know that those cameras are recording? What does she think that is?
Yeah, we'll get there because she literally, everything that came out of her mouth on this episode, the producers threw it back to the time that she actually didn't do what she said she did.
It was beautiful.
And it's hilarious.
It was beautiful. Yeah. And she's eventually going to watch the show and see it. I wish they kind of showed her in real time, literally in real time, could call her out on her BS. But we all got to see it.
Much BS.
It was beautiful. Yeah. Let's get into it. Let's start with, you said Steve. Let's start with Noy and Steve.
Noy and Steve.
So, okay. Here's my first concern. Noy is concerned Steve doesn't have a job. I'm concerned Noy's doing her job in the kitchen. Literally, she could be cooking noodles, and we'll get to noodles. We'll get to noodles. We'll talk about noodles in a minute, but she could literally be cooking dinner and working on her computer at the same time. She is so in that kitchen. This is Olajuwon's dream to have his woman in the kitchen this much.
I mean, I don't know why you have a problem with it because you work in the kitchen.
I do, and here's why I'm okay with our situation. We both have jobs, so we
True.
both need a place to work. They have 2 bedrooms, 1 job. So why doesn't she move her office into the second bedroom?
It's all about feeling comfortable. If she feels comfortable there, that's fine.
I don't think she's going to feel comfortable in the kitchen much longer after this episode.
Well, true, but I also don't think that Steve is around really. Maybe he does something during the day.
What is he doing?
I don't know.
Guy's got
It's a
no
good question.
job. The
It's a
guy's
good question. He's freelancing. He said he has.
No, he's not.
Well, I know.
He says he can. And guys, call in because I think there's a lot of misunderstanding of is he working? Is he not working? Is he freelancing? My understanding is he has the skills to work, but he doesn't work.
And I had a conversation about this with one of our friends on Instagram. Let's shout out Missy. Hello, Missy.
What's up, Missy?
We're talking about this, right? Because Missy messaged us and I'm on the same page. And I told her I do freelance too on the side as extra money, something I do here and there. That's not my main source of income, right? I can't imagine, and I know some people do it, but you have to really work hard for it, to be chasing all these opportunities to live off of a freelance job, right?
Oh, it's
you have to
so difficult.
It's so difficult. You really have to work so much harder than if you have a regular job. But I kind of get the idea. Steve doesn't seem to be doing anything. And what I told Missy is that I would understand if he has his big dreams and he wants to entertain whatever opportunities he might have, but have a full-time job while doing that. And once something kicks in, then you can be like, you know what? I'm going to be full-time freelancer. I have all these great leads, or I'm going to have my own business. But in the meantime, dude, you guys want to have 3 kids. You have a wife who's concerned. You are almost 40. Get a full-time job.
Yeah, I somewhat agree. I think living the freelance life is a thing, and you can do it. To do it successfully, at least in my understanding, because I work with a lot of freelancers, you have to be fully invested, be present, have your network. If you fall out of your network, if you don't freelance for a couple months, people are not going to look to you. They're going to find other people to tap.
100%.
And so you got to stay there. You got to stay relevant. And so my question was, maybe this guy, maybe he scratched a lucky lotto ticket. Maybe he came into some money, because let's do a little stalk of this segment here. I found Steve on LinkedIn. Okay. I found his LinkedIn page, which that's not too creepy. He gives his first and last name. You heard it in the intro here on this pod. I put it into LinkedIn. I found him. So here's a couple things I learned. His last job, he was the sales engineer, which he says. He worked at Experian in Boston. Okay, so I looked up. Now I have a lot of information. I looked it up. What's the average salary of a sales engineer at Experian in Boston? I have all the pieces, right? I put them together, went to Google, came up with an answer of his salary, and I'm sure this is pretty close to what he makes.
Okay, what is it?
Any guesses?
Well, I do work with engineers, so...
Sales engineers?
No, different engineers. Okay. I'm going to say 110,000.
It's a very good... Let's give this girl a prize here, because you nailed the average sales engineer
You also
salary.
know that I'm very interested in other people's jobs
So
and
you've
what
looked
people...
it up. Okay.
What I didn't look up this one. I'll be honest. Was a genuine guess. But I was thinking engineers, I would say average salary would be like 80,000, 90,000. But then you think of big cities like Boston, you got to bump it up.
You're spot on. And you're thinking about all the different variables. You got it. Okay. But Experian, from my research, underpays. Maybe they're a great company. Maybe everyone wants to work for them, great benefits, but they underpay. So their average salary for a sales engineer, 90,000.
You went so deep. I love it.
Okay. Well, because I want to know, because I'm trying to make an assessment about this guy. 90,000.
Okay.
Great salary. But in Boston, you're not rich by any means making 90,000.
You can do fine. But yes, you're not rich.
You're not rich.
Because what I found out when I was kind of researching cities, possible cities for us, which I have like 15 in mind for the future, right? Boston, one of them. Living in Boston is more expensive than living in New York City.
No,
overall.
it's not.
Well, don't think just
neck and neck.
Don't think just Manhattan.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, if you want to buy a house
New York City.
in the suburbs.
I'm saying Queens, Brooklyn. I'm saying New York City. Okay. Obviously, Manhattan is out of control, but Boston overall is more expensive, slightly.
Okay. I disagree, but I see what you're saying.
Slightly. Well, that was my research like a year ago.
Okay. But so 90,000, let's bump him up to 100. Maybe he's a great employee. In Boston, not going to go that far. And on top of that, according to his LinkedIn, he stopped working in December of 2020. So he's been without a job for over a year.
Wait a minute. Okay, December of 2020. So a year into the pandemic.
I mean, he's probably filmed this, whatever, over the summer,
yeah.
so however many months ago that was. But he's been without a job at this point for over a year. Mm-hmm. And so while 90,000 is a good salary in Boston, it's not a great salary in Boston, how much can you have in savings to be living off of? So I don't know this guy's bank account. I don't know if he's got a trust fund or a lotto win, but it's not like he's making $200,000 in the middle of nowhere where he could bank $150K a year.
No, but there are people like me, and then there are people like you, and I'm going to explain it. I save money. I'm a crazy person. I love shopping too, but I'm more of a saver. You are more of a spender, at least before we got married and everything. When I met you, you like buying things. You didn't think about savings that much. I feel like if he did, and he was smart about it, he could have decent savings.
Decent. Here's my only issue, because live your life the way you want to live it. If you want to freelance or not work at all, that's fine. Communicate with your wife. Communicate with Noi, because maybe you do have big savings. Tell her. Maybe you do have plans to freelance next month. Tell her. Or at least tell us, because we're the ones passing judgment here. It's the lack of communication and the lack of forward thinking that I have the issue with, not the, I don't really want to work this week.
Well, I almost feel like if that was the case, he would tell us. I think he's trying to freelance, because how do you go from a sales engineer to a web designer? Like, as you said before, you need a portfolio, you need a network, you need some validation to start getting jobs. Because I'll be honest, there's so many web and graphics designers, animators out there who do freelancing, and you have to find, like, you have options if you're trying to find a freelancer or hire a freelancer. There's so many out there.
Right.
So he doesn't seem like that into it, because we don't see him doing anything.
Well, and here's the other thing. He's on this platform. He's on MAFs. He's on television. Talk about what you can do. Show it off somehow. We have plenty of people, and Mark the Yak is one of them this season, who wears a brand on his shirt.
Oh, does he?
Yes. I researched it. It's a gym in Massachusetts.
Oh, classic.
I don't think it's his. I went to the website and there's other owners. But he's promoting something at every episode almost with a T-shirt.
He doesn't own a gym.
No, we'll get to that.
He manages gyms.
We'll get to that.
So maybe it's one of the gyms he manages.
Fair enough. But my point is, you're on this platform. Promote yourself. You'll probably get so much freelance work, especially in a world where we're all working remotely now. Someone from California could reach out to you. Hey, Steve, I need a logo. I need a website. But we don't know what you can do.
I was just going to say that. You need to have something to show.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. They're prepping for the housewarming party. This is the episode where all the friends come over, all the families come over, and they have housewarming parties.
Yes.
So Steve and Noi are prepping. Their theme, because almost everyone has a theme for their party, the adventure begins. Mm-hmm. And what an adventure it will be.
Oh, yeah.
So they're going to make dishes from each of their cultures.
Which I love. And it all looked amazing. Did
So
Noi
good.
make it? Did Steve make it? Who made it?
I think Steve is the
Because he's
chef.
unemployed.
Well, I just think he's got a knack for it. We saw he whipped up an omelet that could go head to head with any breakfast bar I've ever seen.
So why doesn't he maybe entertain an opportunity of being a chef?
No. We don't need a career. No. We don't need a career change.
Breakfast.
No,
joint.
that's not his passion. We don't need a career change. We just need a career. We need him to want to work in his field. He doesn't need to go find a different field.
What are you talking about? He's a sales engineer who's trying to do web design. That's a career change.
On LinkedIn, I saw that he had previously done, I think, app development or designing of apps. He's got some experience in designing and developing. So let him stick in that field, but just share with us what's your plans moving forward. That's all I'm curious about.
True.
Okay, so they got the party going. The friends arrive. Everyone's asking questions. And the friends want to know if Steve was everything Noi had hoped for.
And he is. To the point that apparently, and we didn't see this, and I wish he did.
Yeah, what's going on, Maps editors?
Yeah, they didn't show us that they did give each other basically the same gift. It was a couple of memory journal.
Yeah.
It was a different kind of a journal, but the same idea, the same thing. They gave it to each other, which kind of reminds me of the two of us. We usually give each other, like things that are very similar, but we don't plan it. So that's great. And I see them being together. I think their only issue is Steve's unemployment.
Yeah. And again, that could be solved with a conversation.
100%.
So, yeah, they each gave each other these journals. Noi thought she was getting regifted for a second. She's like, wait, are they giving me my own gift back?
I love it. That says a lot. That says a lot.
It does. And I don't know why they saved it. Maybe for this moment, but...
Well, I'm sure they talked about it, just the producers, for whatever reason.
That's what I'm wondering. Why the editors...
Wondering
why the editors decided to put it at episode 8. As
Yeah.
opposed to 1.
After we gave them so much shit for not giving each other gifts.
Yeah, because
Do you
there was no payoff. It didn't pay off 7 episodes later. You should have just showed it because we needed some context back then of like, oh, this is cool. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. That would have been nice to see. We see it here. Then they move on. They start talking about kids, right? Those are the 2 big issues, kids and career.
Which are 2 topics that can be discussed if you can communicate.
Yeah, and this is actually one where they do discuss.
And especially because it's not like Noi wants kids and Steve doesn't, because that would be hard. Like if one person doesn't want to have kids and the other one does, that's an issue.
Yeah.
The fact that they both want to have kids, it's just Noi wants to have 3, not 2, not 4, not 5, not 1. She wants to have 3.
It's the magic number.
And Steve just wants to have kids.
Yeah.
That's something they can, they just need to talk.
Here's my concern with it, and I didn't really think about it until this episode, was their ages. Steve is almost 40.
He's 38.
38. He could be turning 39 at any moment. He's almost 40. Noi's 33. If you guys want to have 3 kids, 3 healthy kids, you probably got to start sooner than later.
Yes, but I think the fact that she's the younger one is good.
For sure. But 3 kids, the very quickest that could happen would be, I guess, 3 years.
Triplets.
You could have triplets. Imagine that. One and done. Would that satisfy her?
If we have triplets, I don't think I could.
Guys, we're going to be done podcasting. That's it for the podcast.
That's it.
Not that anyone's pregnant right now.
No, that's it for the next 18 years.
Yeah.
But no, we're not.
If we have 3 kids, we'll give Steve and Noi one of them.
Yeah, I'm drinking a beer right now.
When are you not drinking a beer, Teresa? Let's be very honest.
I don't drink beer.
We only drink beer on the pod, really.
Yeah.
A little something to loosen us up, but to not get too loose.
For sure. And we do drink on the weekends.
Beer?
I mean, we went to the brewery last week.
That's true. We had 1.
Yeah, because then we wanted to go home.
No, someone needed to drive home. Being responsible here. Okay, we drink, but we're responsible about it.
Very true.
Okay, so then they break off. They're talking to the friends kind of in groups. And this is where Noi brings up the finances, or Noi's friends bring up the finances and ask about Steve's intentions for work. And all he says is, it'll never get to the point where Noi is the primary breadwinner. But we can figure out another way besides me getting a job.
What does it even mean?
What? How much does full-time dreamer pay? Because what are the other ways to make money?
Because tell me, I'm interested.
Right. If you're getting paid for it, seems like it's work of some sort. It seems like it's some sort of job.
Maybe he's a gigolo.
Still a job.
That's true.
Still work.
A big commitment too.
Still work. Yeah. So it's unless again he came into some money somehow and he's not sharing.
He has like 59 siblings.
Right.
That would have to be like very rich because
I'm not saying it's trust.
If he got money, they all would have to get money.
I'm not saying it's trust money, but maybe he hit the lotto and he's not sharing that. But I think he said he got laid off from his job. And so that makes me think, okay, that wasn't like he won the lottery and it was like, peace, suckers. It seems like he was laid off and maybe he got some severance. Who knows? Mm-hmm. I forget. Oh, it was Knocked Up, right? The movie Knocked Up where Seth
Rogen.
He got hit by a mail truck and so he got some payout. And he was like, yeah, I think I have like $900 left. So that should last me like another couple months. Like, who knows? Maybe Steve is letting it just run down to the very end. And he's so used to not having a paycheck. He just thinks, yeah, this can go on forever.
Maybe. Like, there's part of me, like, I love people who want to travel. I love adventurous people. Obviously, I love John. He's one of them. But at the same time, I need to have security. I need to follow certain rules in my mind, right?
Yeah.
I need to have savings. I need to have a steady income to be happy, to be actually able to enjoy the adventures, right?
100%.
So I get it. Like, Steve wants to travel. He wants to do all that. I totally understand. But, dude, get a full-time job. Like, you have the capabilities
Not even a
of
full-time
doing
job.
so.
Not even a full-time job. If you want to
Get
work
a job.
If you want to work 20 hours a week and you can afford to, that's great.
Steady income.
Here's the thing that's a little, I don't know if he would do this for what I'm about to say, but when you're freelancing, the most expensive part is the health insurance. When you freelance and you have to buy your own health insurance, whether it's Cobra or whatnot, it's like it could be $700 a month.
Oh, for sure.
Did Steve get married to get on someone's health insurance?
I don't think so.
It's just a thought.
Also, you can get a cheaper health insurance.
It doesn't get that much cheaper. If you're buying your own health insurance, it's hundreds of dollars a month.
It depends what coverage you get,
Sure.
right? You can get a basic coverage for $300.
Maybe.
I'm talking Florida.
Not when you're 38, Steve. I don't think.
Absolutely, but I'm saying
There's cheaper options.
Yeah, or he can be without insurance and hope for the best.
Yeah.
That's
we'll
all
see.
I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. Nothing else for me for the housewarming. I'm ready to move on if you are.
Let's move on.
Okay, because here's where the drama comes.
Ooh, yeah.
Whenever someone is self-filming, you know there's going to be
Oh, yeah.
some noodle
That's
drama.
like the indicator
Yeah.
of something happened, like shit went down.
Yeah, you're hiding in a closet. Your cell phone is shaking. You're self-filming. We want to know what happened. And I'm going to try to explain what happened. You jump in because I can't fathom that this is actually what happened, what I wrote down, that this
Okay.
is the cause of this explosion. So
Well, go ahead.
you help me out. But apparently Steve says Noi offered to cook for them,
Yes.
but they needed to eat separate noodles.
For whatever
I
reason.
think maybe one has a gluten intolerance, one doesn't. So they're eating separate noodles. Noi cooked her noodles perfectly, but overcooked Steve's noodles.
I was starting to get lost at this point. So
Okay, they were either overcooked or undercooked.
Okay.
Either way, the noodles were not cooked to Steve's liking. Okay? So Noodles got so pissed off that Steve was not appreciative of her cooking that she grabs her dog and leaves.
yes.
That's the gist of it, correct?
That's the drama. Yeah.
Noodle drama.
Noodle drama. That's literally what I called it, the noodle argument.
Oh, okay. Noodle drama. Okay. So that's crazy. So it's so crazy because she leaves and spends the night somewhere else.
Which later on we learned that it was her apartment.
She
which
went home.
That's what I expected.
She went home because it was the noodle that broke the camel's back.
Which is so dumb if you think about it. Like, if you want to build a successful marriage, this shouldn't even have been an argument. This should have been like dude, you overcooked my noodles and just be fine with it. Like, shit happens. I'm not a chef.
Teresa, it's not about the noodles.
What is it about then?
It's never about the noodles.
So what is it about?
It's about everything else. This is the noodle that broke the camel's back.
You think so? They seem so good.
It's about him wanting 2 kids and her wanting 3. It's about him not working and her needing him to have a job. It's not about the noodles, Teresa. It was never about the noodles.
You don't think so?
You think it was about the noodles?
I guess you're right.
You think it was about it?
That's so silly.
It can't be about if it's about the noodles. He better skadoodles.
But now when I'm thinking about it, I can see how things were just like piling up in her head.
Teresa, it boiled over.
That's a good one.
Okay, it's not about
about
the noodles.
All right, I can see that now. Oof.
She finally returns. She sits down with Steve, and she's like, "I'm being very cautious. I don't want to say something that I can't take back." So Steve starts talking, saying, "I went 24 hours not being able to say how I felt, not knowing what was going on, and you shouldn't have left. We're married."
Which is true.
100% true. And apparently, instead of talking to Steve, she posted something on Instagram, which is the most immature move one can make.
This is where I got annoyed with Noah. Like before, I was like, okay, well, it's a little silly. She left over noodles, but now you kind of shine more light on what's going on. So I'm like, yes, I get it. She was just keeping everything inside and she just boiled, whatever you called it, overboiled.
She boiled over. Yep.
Boiled over. But the fact that you go ahead and in your 30s, you post this on social media is ridiculous. I would not have it with anyone. Like, if you did it, I would be like, oh, that's immature. Even if I had an argument with a friend, like a girlfriend, and she posted about it on social media, that would be an indication for me that, yes, this friendship is not worth it because this person's dumb.
Yeah. This happened in, I want to say Charlotte. In Maps Charlotte. Didn't someone post something on Instagram?
Oh, no, that was Maps DC.
Was it DC? Mm-hmm. It's happened before.
That was the chick with like the big hair. She was very pretty, and she had a Lassie, the dog, the collie. The beautiful. She like a beautiful dog.
Yeah,
Her name wasn't Lassie, but
the dog was the
type of the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she got married to the guy who was selling beer.
Yeah, no, okay.
Yeah, and she posted something on social media when she walked the dog.
You're right. Yeah. But okay,
who's the maps expert here?
So it's so immature. And here's my biggest issue with it is that you're clearly posting it on social media because you want Steve to see.
For sure.
So just talk to Steve. You're trying to communicate to him, but it's in the poorest way possible. It's not like you're trying to just tell your friends he was shitty. If that was the case, you'd send it to your group text. You're trying to have him see it. So just talk to him.
And not even that, like, and Steve said it, my whole family follows you now. Like, what are they going to think? If you have an issue, just talk to Steve. Don't even share your dirty laundry in a group chat with your friends.
That's true, too. Be an adult. Be a couple.
I can understand being frustrated, maybe meeting your girls for a coffee. You can mention it, but don't try to solve it with them because that's not going to help anything and anyone. Try to solve it with Steve. Yeah. Seriously.
Here's what she posted, just so we're all on the same page here. She posted a story on Instagram. It said, nah, this just isn't good enough. Will enhance your life greatly. Or maybe just saying this isn't good enough will enhance your life greatly. You're allowed to say this simply isn't enough for me. You're allowed to have a vision for yourself, your life, your relationships, and refuse to settle for anything else. Next time, I'm going to the Olive Garden. At least when I'm there, I'm family. That's what she wrote.
That's very long. It's a very long post to post on Instagram.
It was super long. And then there was like 3 hearts on the bottom of it. And I was like,
what's up with the Olive Garden? Like everyone's family?
I added that part.
Oh.
Never ending pasta bowls. Yeah, when you're there, you're family. But she goes, that's the first time I cooked for you. So it's really off-putting. You would comment something like that instead of just saying thank you for cooking for me. As someone who cooks for me a lot, what is your
all the time?
Almost every night, unless we're getting burrito throat. What is your take on that? Do you want me to say, oh, this is delicious? Or do you want me to say, oh, it could use a little salt?
You can say that, but it's all about, you never say that, let's be honest, because my cooking is the bomb. But if you did say it, it's all about the tone. If you said, and actually, I'm not gonna lie, you did say it a few times that something was missing something, but it's about how you say things. You can say, oh, hey T, this is great, but I wish you added more salt. Or like, hey T, this is great, I wish you maybe added more sauce so it's not as, the chicken is not as dry,
Sure.
right? But it's great, and you would eat it, and that's fine. It's a learning moment for me, and it's a communication between us. If you said, I can't believe you forgot about it, this is disgusting, I'm not gonna eat it, like you're so selfish, you're just thinking about your chicken, but my chicken is so dry, I would be like, you know what? Next time you cook your own chicken, and I would get pissed.
Yeah.
So it's all, honestly, it all comes down to communication.
Yeah. And short of me throwing the boiling water in your face, I don't think you would storm out of the apartment and spend the night elsewhere.
Oh, 100% not.
Over noodles.
I would not even get that mad. I would literally call you out. I would be like, well, you're being rude right now. I'm cooking for you. There are ways to say your criticism. This is not it. Let's talk about, like, that's the communication you and I have. You would never react like that because I know you. But if you did, I would not storm off. I would call you out and be like, well, you are being rude.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. That's Steve and Noodles. Should we move on to Katina and Elijah?
Let's do it.
Okay. Elijah, he's at the park meeting up with his friend and mentor, Jeff. So Elijah tells Jeff, Katina is basically the female version of me.
Which I don't fully see.
Yeah, I don't really know what they share in common. Like, we're both sexy, maybe.
I mean, they both were party animals as far as we know.
That's true.
But Katina seemed to have things more together.
I think so.
Yeah.
So Elijah's like, all's well, except we're pumping the brakes on sex.
And it's because of Elijah one. And I called it. He's afraid that he'll look at the whole relationship differently once they bang.
Do you buy that?
I do. Like, imagine, well, you're not a player as far as I know. But imagine,
those days are behind me.
imagine you're a player. You just bang girls. You go out. You're good looking. You get all the girls, and all you do is just like you have sex in the morning. They go home, and you never call them again, right? And now you're married because that's what you wanted. You wanted a gourmet chef / wife. You got one, not the gourmet chef, but maybe one day. And now you're afraid if you do have sex, your mind will go to the place like, all right, it's time for you to go.
Okay.
I can totally see it. I can see how, not that it would happen,
Just
but
a habit.
the habit, I can see why he's afraid. Because he always makes a point about, I used to be Isaac. Oh, you're the first girl I've welcomed to my house like this.
Okay.
Which means you're the first girl who probably walked in during the day with me, not at 1 a.m. and leave at 6 a.m.
Yeah. Okay. It's fair. I mean, I could see that point. I just wonder, when is it going to be okay? Because you got to get intimate before you just end up in the friend zone.
It is okay to get intimate now. He just needs to stop overthinking. And that's basically what the friend said. Hey, you overthink everything and you expect too much. Stop doing those two things.
I think also you got to make sure you're not in the friend zone. But the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be to consummate because you've set this precedent. We're not having sex. We're not doing it. We're not rushing it. And so then it's going to be super hard to finally go, okay, now is the time. I don't know. I just think, what are they doing? Are they BJs? Are we
Who
doing?
knows?
Are we
Who
doing
knows?
BJs? Are we doing? What base are we at? That's what I want to know.
Seems like no base.
Seems like and it's usually all about the bass, no treble, and it seems like we're almost in trouble.
And I don't think these guys are like, oh, let's have sex all the time, but let's not tell. I feel like Elijah would share.
A little
He
Claire
would
and
share. He would
Ryan.
be like, yeah, we banged it out.
Maybe.
I honestly just think he's afraid that right now Katina is his queen, right? He loves the way she is. He loves the way she looks. Everything is going great, right? he's just afraid that the sex is gonna ruin it.
One red flag he brings up is when Katina went to the grocery store and came back with bread and water, which is concerning. It's a little
Isn't that what Jesus gives you? Bread and water?
At least he can turn the water into wine.
Good old Jesus.
At least come back with a bottle of wine, Katina. But yeah, apparently she has a food blog, which we didn't know, right?
What's a food blog?
You don't know about a food blog?
No.
I'm guessing, and maybe I'm wrong, not everyone, but people who have food blogs now, they're usually Instagram pages where you go out to a restaurant, you take a photo of the food, you post
blog.
it. Blog.
I saw blog, like BLOCK. Like she's like,
Oh, food blog.
yeah.
No, food blog.
Gotcha,
with a G.
gotcha.
So you know what that is.
Yeah.
So apparently she has one of those. I Googled it. I tried to find it.
she does?
I couldn't find it. So that's her excuse of like, oh, I don't cook. I go out to restaurants and I have food blog. And if she's good at it, she can probably get free
Guys,
meals.
it's tough. One of my friends, she is an influencer. Well, she works for a company that she does the influencing. She goes to restaurants and places and takes photos.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I went out with her for brunch, right? Before we got to do anything, even like cheers, she had to take a photo of everything. She was like standing up. She was taking photos from all angles. So I was like, all right, since she's doing it, let me do it too. I just couldn't get it right because I feel like an idiot trying to pose with my food.
That would drive me crazy.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, so I wait 5 minutes until she got the perfect shot of everything. Then we did cheers. Obviously, we did the cheers for the IG. And I was like, damn, this job I could never do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not for me. I go to restaurants to eat, not to take photos of the food.
But I'm glad some people do it. Like, I love looking at the photos.
Sure. Oh, no, absolutely. So, okay. Katina goes and meets up with her friend, Ariana. And she wants to know everything from the garter belt to the strip tease. She wants to know it all.
Plus, Ariana apparently was at the brunch with Olajuwon the day after the wedding, and he did not leave a good impression.
Well, here's what I forgot, and I'm so glad they sort of reminded me of this because Ariana's like, he's a bit of a talker.
Oh,
He can talk.
yeah.
And I completely forgot about the amazing conversation he had with Katina's mom.
When they put it on on the
chef's kiss.
screen, like in 50 different little rectangles.
The Brady Bunch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, editing trick when Katina's mom was finally like, oh, look, a rabbit. And then she made her escape. But yeah, he can talk. And Ariana had an interesting insight, or she thought she had an insight as to why he's such a talker, which is he's going to keep talking so you don't have a chance to ask questions.
Interesting. I missed that, but that's interesting.
Yeah, and I don't know if he does that, but I could see that tactic where you just keep commandeering the conversation so that the other person doesn't have a chance to be like, but wait, what about your ex? Like, you just keep talking. Don't give them a chance.
That's about interesting because I have a friend who I always thought of as like a super like extrovert, like talks to everyone, very open, very friendly, right? And recently I had a conversation with her and she said, I'm actually an introvert. And I'm like, no, you're not. You freaking talk to everyone and you are very friendly. She's like, no, you don't get it. I ask questions and I let people talk. She's like, I'm friendly enough to ask the right questions, but then I just have people talking and I listen.
I like that. I still would say she's a little more extroverted.
Well, yes, but I think she's more introverted. That was her point. She can be friendly. She's not like a complete introvert. But I thought of it and it's so true.
Oh, yeah.
She does that. She asks questions that trigger you to talk for hours.
It's a good tactic.
It's a great tactic.
And people walk away going, oh, wow, that person was so interested in me. It's a really good tactic. It's one we should probably get better at.
Oh, this person is so friendly and so fun to talk with. But meanwhile, you are the one who did the talking.
Yeah.
I love it.
No, it's really smart. So then Ariana has another concern. And she brings up something I don't think I knew. I don't know if you had known this. But Katina's friend said Olajuwon told them he's never dated a black girl.
Yeah, we didn't know that.
Don't think I knew that before. So this is news. And the reason, she says, Olajuwon said, none have ever been attracted to him. So it's not really his choice. He's putting it on these other women that no other black women have been attracted to Elijah. And Katina's very quick to jump to his defense and say, well, you have to remember he's half Irish and has a mohawk. So she's not that concerned about it.
Well, it's almost like maybe there were girls attracted to him, but maybe he wasn't attracted to them. So like he missed it. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. That's not what he said. He's like,
Well-
I've never dated a black girl because none have been attracted to me.
Yeah, I think he's exaggerating this. I believe he never dated a black girl.
I believe
which is
that.
fine.
Yeah, I believe that
think
too.
he's just he's more attracted to white women, Asian women, whoever, right?
And that's my question, because Ariana is very concerned. Katina's not. I need more information. Here's what I wonder. What races has he dated? Because if he's only dated white girls, sure, that could be a reason for Katina to be a little unsure of his interest or attraction to her. But if he's dated a Latino woman, an Asian woman, a mixed race woman, then it's like, who cares? He hasn't gotten around to dating a black woman. He's dated so many other women, right? So it's less about he hasn't dated a black woman and more about who has he dated.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I'm like, well, we need more information before we think, oh, this is an issue.
For sure.
Right. Okay. Party time.
Housewarming party. They have a chicken theme party.
I was like, no real, maybe booze and birds. Maybe booze and birds. Maybe
I like it.
It's like chicken and champagne.
Booze and birds.
Booze and birds, two of my favorite things, and it looked good.
That looked good, yeah.
It looked good. Friends arrive. Here's the theme of the party. Get drunk, blackout. Because
Oh, yeah.
the drinks were, the only thing that party was missing was an ice luge. Because
What's that?
An ice, you've never done an ice luge?
No.
It's an ice sculpture of sorts.
Okay.
Imagine you've seen the Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
Okay, imagine a bobsled, but instead of a bobsled, it's alcohol racing towards your mouth.
Oh,
Delicious, right?
sounds
Not
good.
COVID friendly, because
Definitely
you all put
not.
your mouth on the bottom
Ew.
of the ice luge.
I'm too old for that. And after COVID, I don't even want to stand next to anyone.
Understand?
Not because of COVID. I just learned that, wow, we all can have boundaries and it's beautiful.
Yeah, but you need to be exposed to some germs.
Some germs, yeah. But I don't need people in my face anymore. I don't
All
need to
right.
hit a club and be 5 centimeters from someone.
Okay. Take it easy with your European measurements over there. I don't even know how far that is. Okay.
Like this.
Oh, okay. Got it. The drinks are flowing. The shots are flowing. Energy is good because when the sun is shining through your window and you're taking vodka shots, that's how you know you're in for a good party.
And Katina wasn't loving the vodka. She was like, "Ooh." Like she did not even drink her shot.
Doesn't matter.
But Tito's, that's my brand.
Yeah. I mean, I think they had tequila. They had Tito's. They were all wearing Mardi Gras beads. Mardi Gras beads, like, this is a party.
Oh, yeah.
right? I would like to go to this housewarming party.
Although, when it comes to food, my favorite out of all the parties definitely was Noise and Steve's.
It looked good.
Yeah, like Asian cuisine.
It looked a little Asian
Gimme,
fusion.
gimme.
Yeah, it looked good. So, okay. Katina's friends start asking about the intimacy. And she says, we haven't crossed that bridge yet. We're focusing on the emotional connection. And the friends are not thrilled to hear this. The friends are a little concerned almost because they know how important sex is to Katina.
Well, then the friends are talking to Elijah one, the classic.
Yes,
His
they do
friends
a,
talking
they do
to
a line
Katina,
change. Yeah, the
her
friends
friends
switch.
talking to him, right? So Katina's friends are talking to Elijah one, and they basically said, talk about everything. And at the end, they said, well, we kind of changed our minds a lot about Elijah one. Like, he's not that bad. Because remember, going into this, they did not like him. After the wedding, the striptease at the wedding, and then the brunch, they were not big fans. But they said they have nothing bad to say about Elijah one, which is good. Because imagine if your close friends dislike your spouse.
Yeah.
That's an issue.
Yeah. Well, it was a good party. Everyone got
Yeah.
drunk. Maybe there'll be sex that night because they they had some liquid courage. Mm-hmm. Maybe they'll lose their inhibition. Maybe they'll consummate the marriage because the drinks were absolutely flowing.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when Katina talked to Olajuwon's friend, basically he just said, Olajuwon talks about Katina all the time.
All the time.
And the friend really likes Katina. He thinks they're good for each other. And everything's positive.
Let's mention here, because there's nowhere else to mention it. Olajuwon cut off his mohawk.
He did. For Katina.
For Katina. And let's weigh in how we feel about his newfound hairdo.
I think he looks older.
Okay, he looks older. Yeah, I think that was his signature look.
Yeah, I like the mohawk
I like the
better.
mohawk a little bit. It was a signature look. I thought he had a vibe. It went with his whole demeanor.
Yeah.
But maybe that was more Isaac. Maybe the mohawk was more.
True, that's a good point.
Maybe this is the new Olajuwon.
Yes.
So-
Katina loves it.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters is that she likes it.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm glad we discussed that because it was on my head. It was on his and now it's gone. Okay, I think we need to take a quick break. We'll be back with we're gonna be back with a lot. So you hang tight and we'll be back in a second. And we're back with everyone's favorite Mock the Shot.
Lindsay and Mock the Shock.
Yeah, everyone's
MTS.
new least favorite, Lindsay. But drama.
Drama.
We're here for the Okay. Mock throwing a baseball around with his buddy John, talking about Lindsay, how the relationship's going. And positive first. Lead with the positives, Mock. Lead with the positives, which Lindsay's really here for me. Very involved, very helpful. She's here for me. Okay. Sounds good so far. And then John asks, well, are you head over heels? Are you head over heels for Lindsay?
Why are you doing Mock the Shock accent when John's talking?
John is like the king of Boston. This guy, you look at this guy and you go, that's Boston right there, right?
Speaking of Boston and exercising, I'm literally looking at you and you're wearing a City Sports Boston shirt.
City Sports Boston. Got this when I was in college in Boston. Got it on Commonwealth Avenue at
That's
a City
a really
Sports.
old shirt.
It's falling apart. This shirt's got to be about 12 years old.
Gee, that's an old shirt.
Graduated college. Should I tell them when I graduated college?
Well, up to.
2008.
I was still in high school.
That's how I like them.
Wait.
Real young.
You graduated college in 2008?
Yeah.
I graduated high school in 2009.
Yeah, we're 4 years apart.
I know.
Why is that crazy for you?
Well, okay. It's not. In Czech, we have a year more of school than you guys.
That's why you're so smart.
So smart.
That's why you're so much smarter.
I just, the math didn't quite add at the first, but I get it now.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm wearing my City Sports shirt. I think John was wearing probably a Boston tee. I think he wore the Boston tee. He's probably got a couple Red Sox tattoos. He had his sunglasses on. He's a Boston guy. We're a couple Boston guys. You know, I would fit right in with them. A couple Boston guys tossing around the ball, talking about the Sox, talking about and here's just a little anecdote. Here's a fun anecdote. You started it. When I went to school in Boston. The Sox had not won a World Series since 1918, I think.
Let me stop you right here. Sox is
the Red
baseball.
Sox. Baseball. Yeah.
Ugh,
World Series.
the worst.
Well, buckle up because it's a good ride. They hadn't won a World Series since 1918, I don't think. I go to school 2004. My freshman year in college.
What's the World Series?
It's the Stanley Cup of baseball.
Okay, gotcha. Move on.
They won it my freshman year.
What?
So I go to Boston. I go to school. They hadn't won in decades. They win the Stanley Cup. What a welcome, right? What a welcome. Welcome to Boston, John. Next year, nothing. Next year, nothing. Next year, my senior year in college, the Red Sox win again. The World Series.
Oh, wow.
Welcome to Boston. Sayonara, Boston. Like a welcome present and a goodbye present. They won the World Series my freshman and my senior year.
Did you go to the games?
No. I mean, I went to games while I was there, but I couldn't go to the series games. But my school would do like big events for the game. They'd make hot dogs and put the big screens up.
Hot
and it was
dogs.
fun. Get your hot dogs here. Hot dogs, get your hot dogs, right? So it was fun. We did go. We went down to the Fenway area when they won, and we celebrated, and it was crazy. It was a little too crazy, if I'm going to be honest. I mean, cars on fire.
What?
Yeah, rubber bullets being shot.
Gee.
It was crazy. But
Yeah, I don't watch baseball. I've been to a Yankee game twice. And both times I watched for 5 minutes, took a selfie, and went to a bar.
yep, that's about right.
Not to say that I wasted money. It was a work event.
Oh, okay.
So it was paid for. But I can't watch baseball. I just can't. It
All
doesn't
right. I don't
talk
want
to me.
Then let's not talk about it either. Let's move on because
Well, isn't that what they're doing?
they're tossing a ball around.
Yeah, so it's relevant.
I know.
It's relevant.
Okay, it's absolutely relevant. What's more relevant is when John asks if Mark's head over heels for Lindsay, he's very quick to say no.
But that wouldn't be that crazy. What's crazy is that Mark the Shark is head over heels over everyone that he dates. He wants to move in on the second date. He says, I love you on the third date. Or the other way around, right? But with Lindsay, that's not happening. It's not there.
Well, they have so much in common, but at the same time, she's a little too much for our shark.
And John, the friend, asked a great question because he's like, does she do anything to embarrass you?
Oh boy.
Whoa,
does she
John,
ever.
are you a fly on the wall?
Yeah, I get 14th hand embarrassment watching Lindsay. It's
Yeah.
a lot for Mock.
Oh, it would be a lot for anyone.
It's a lot. And you don't want to see the guy who it's not a lot for. Because if Lindsay finds that guy and the two of them become a power couple, it's going to be too much. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of tornadoes in Boston. This is going to be a tornado.
But I have to say one thing, and I kept telling you, I don't know if you guys would agree or disagree with me. I believe that Lindsay is very smart and she cares. She's caring and could be nice. I think she just has this trigger when she drinks a lot. And we always see her drinking a lot. And then she becomes crazy. That something triggers her into being paranoid and being like out of control.
I don't know if she is smart. I'm not saying she's not. I don't have anything to really judge her intelligence by. What I can say is I think she believes she's always right.
Yes.
It's her way or the highway.
Yeah.
When she does something, it's right. When you do something, if she doesn't agree with it, it's wrong.
True. I also believe that she is controlling when sober, aka, as an example, when they were cleaning Mark's apartment, right? She just took a control of all of it, which is like, dude, pump the brakes. Like, that's his apartment. You don't know anything. You don't know what can go and stay.
But she thinks she does.
Yes. So that's definitely not okay. But I'm saying overall, I don't think she's coming from a bad place. I just think something triggers her.
I don't think she's coming from a bad place. I don't think she's trying to cause issues or cause harm.
No.
But controlling behavior comes from a place where I think I know right, and that's why I'm controlling you so that you do it right. Whether it's right or it's wrong, they think it's right, so I'm going to control you and make sure you do it my way because that's the right way. And that's wrong in a relationship.
Yeah, no, I 100%. And I'm definitely with you. All I said is that sometimes like we paint her as a villain, as a crazy person.
She's crazy. You can be smart and crazy.
And that's literally what I said.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about the party, the pizza party, because it's a pizza party with a shark twist,
To make your own pizza party.
which is cool.
Yeah, with a shark balloon.
It's the shark twist.
I love it.
To
I
the
love
pizza
it.
party. Yeah. Lindsay clearly steamrolled her way into being the entire party planning committee. It was a party, a PPC of one, a party
Mm-hmm.
planning committee of one. She's like, this is how we're doing it. This is the theme, my way or the highway. So the friends arrive. They start playing games. And of course, Lindsay is assuming the role of the activities director.
Yeah, she definitely needs the attention.
She needs the attention, but again, it's No. Like you're doing it wrong. Let me show you how.
yeah,
You
you're
know,
right, you're
it's not
right.
even attention. It's control. It's
You're
very
right.
controlling.
Well, she forgot about one very important thing while planning all this. She forgot to wear an apron. So when you look at her making her pizza, she's covered in dough and flour.
Dope. That's our first Simpsons reference.
I used to love The Simpsons, but
I
fun
never
fact,
got into it.
I never watched them in English. Me and my dad,
Bart speaks Czech.
yes.
Bart with an R and a capital B.
You see, I don't get it because I've never watched it in English.
I never
Me and my
liked it.
dad, that was like one of our obsessions that my mom hated. But me and my dad, since I was a child,
I love that.
we watched The Simpsons. And I feel like I looked at it as the cartoon. My dad got the humor a little more than me.
Yeah, I
Right?
think there's definite layers to the humor there. I never got into it for some reason. I don't like cartoons, so I never got into South
It's an
Park.
adult I kind of like South Park, but it got kind of tiring for me.
Family Guy, that's like the only
Nah, I
cartoon I
never
could kind of
watched
get
it.
into. But The Simpsons, for some reason, I never got into the show, but they had this CD, this music, the soundtrack, whatever, which I loved. So like Bart
Really?
with an R and a capital B, that was a song like Lisa played.
Oh,
sax
that's
on.
fun.
Yeah, it was cool. I gotta bring it up and listen to it because I
I was
liked it.
so obsessed with the Simpsons movie. Me and my dad, we watched it so many times. And real quick, they are using a silo in the movie where they store the pig poop, right? Homer got a pig. Long story short, I didn't know what a silo was because we don't have silos in the Czech Republic. So I was like, what is this thing? What is it for? Right?
Okay.
Then I moved to the US, we went to Idaho. I'm like, here we go.
You love silos now.
I do love silos.
Okay. So they split up. They go with the other's friends. And we see Mark with Lindsay's friends. And Mark asks for advice on how to deal with Lindsay's public outbursts.
It's almost like Mark is desperate to get some directions.
Well, it's clearly a huge issue for him. It's not like it's one little thing like I'm going to say the 3 kids versus 2 kids is kind of a little thing in Steve and Noy's relationship. This is clearly the big issue in their relationship.
Like when we met Mark the Shark at the beginning, all the introductions, I was like, wow, this guy is fun. He probably is a little crazy, a little wild. His eyes are out of control, right?
He is.
He looks stressed all the time.
That's how crazy Lindsay is.
All the time. And I look at him, his eyes are just coming out of his head, but he's not laughing.
No,
He's stressed.
yeah.
And I feel bad for him. I genuinely think that he is a nice dude. I have something to say about him because we'll get to it later. I don't think he tried so many things in his life because apparently he tried a taco for the first time.
That's a
which
little
is like,
suspicious.
dude, you live in America.
That means you've never eaten Mexican food because literally all Mexican food it's just different variations of tacos.
Like my parents love tacos. They live in the Czech Republic, very far from Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Like, I hate to
But
say
has he tried a burrito?
Well, yeah,
which
but-
is just a rolled taco. Has he tried an empanada? Has he, right?
Probably not, which is crazy to me. Like, even when they went to Puerto Rico, he said, oh, I've never traveled. I've never done this. I've never done that. So I feel like he lives a very simple life, which is fine.
Yeah.
A nice dude. So him being so stressed, seeing him so stressed is just sad.
Yeah.
And we all know why he's so stressed.
So basically, Lindsay's friends just say, you got to communicate with her. Let her know how you feel. And it's sad because Mark's response is, well, I don't feel comfortable enough to tell her how I feel. I don't feel comfortable enough to speak up. And that speaks volumes about Lindsay and that speaks a little bit about Mark, but it speaks more about how Lindsay can make someone feel that their voice doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you speak up. I'm going to put you down and tell you you're wrong and shut up.
And also, I feel like he doesn't like the conflicts and he's afraid that him speaking up would create conflicts with Lindsay because she wouldn't have a regular conversation like
Right.
normal people. She would make it into something what it's not, right?
Yeah.
So I think, yes, part of it is maybe it says something about Mark. Maybe it says a lot about Lindsay and how she doesn't let anyone to speak up. But also, I believe that he's just afraid to start a new conflict. He doesn't want to start a new conflict.
Yeah. And it's sad because communication is always the answer.
Guys, communication is the freaking key in relationships, in work relationships, in friendships. If you can't communicate, it's going to be tough.
But again, communication is a two-way street. So Mark could try to communicate and Lindsay could just put up a wall and have it bounce right back at him.
True. But let's be honest. And I said it to you. That's why we have the experts there.
Where are they?
Exactly. Where are they? I feel like in the early seasons, like season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe, they were so involved. They were visiting them all the time, on the phones, on Zooms. Like, they were so involved. Right now, we saw PC for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Where's Dr. Pepper? Where's DP?
Where is Dr. Viviana?
Yeah. Where's DV? Where's DP?
We see her
PC.
commenting once in a while something, but where are they?
I'm concerned. Are they okay? We're 8 episodes in. I haven't seen DP once.
And I thought that's the reason why. I mean, that's part of this show. Like, let's talk about quickly Love is Blind, right? They just let these people talk in the cubes.
The pods.
And then they propose and they do their own thing. They're no experts. But that's fine. That's the show.
That's the show.
Right? This show has the experts. Where are they?
I know. Usually Dr. Pepper rolls in around now with like a mug of tea and she sits down in her sweater and she talks.
Oh, Dr. Viviana, she would roll in and be like, how was the sex?
You
How
guys
was
got to
it
start
going?
banging. Yeah.
Yeah.
None of that.
Where is she?
Yeah. Maybe because of COVID. I could see DP is a little high risk.
Whoa. Get on Zoom.
That's a good point.
Get on a call.
That's a very good point.
They are nowhere.
Come on, experts. And you wonder why all these relationships are on ice?
Exactly.
Where are you? Okay. Should we move on? Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit about Jasmina and Michael.
Yes.
So Michael's meeting up with his sister, Claire. And I need Claire's shirt. You need Claire's shirt.
What did it say?
We need to make Married to Reality shirts that say this. Okay, it says, sorry, I have plans with my couch.
That's pretty good.
Imagine like Married to Reality logo. Sorry, I have plans with my couch.
That sounds good.
I think we should make that
We
shirt.
should probably make a shirt that says, sorry, I have plans with my TV.
But I think that's what it means. Like I'm sitting, I'm
is,
like,
yeah.
who sits on their couch and does something else?
Well, you can sit in an armchair.
That's not a couch. What do you mean? To watch TV?
Yeah.
Well, I think let's generally just make this
It's a good
shirt.
shirt. It's a good shirt.
Guys, call in. Let us know if you want the shirt. We'll make it. We'll put it up. We do have a merch store, Married to Reality Podcast.
Yeah, we also don't copy.
We borrow.
No, we don't.
We
We have
steal.
our own. No, we don't. We
Well,
have
all
our
right,
own
we'll
thing.
come up with a different variation.
We have our own thing. Come on. Like, all our merch is our own thing.
That's very true. All right, we'll come
So
up with
let's
something.
not-
All right, okay. Oh, you got me. All right, we'll come up with something
Here we
else.
go. Here we
Okay.
go.
So Michael's filling Claire in on everything. The wedding was good. Loved what I saw. Start of the honeymoon was good. But then we started to have a conflict.
Oops.
And they show all these clips of the conflict. And pretty much every clip they show, it's Michael starting those arguments.
Yeah, pretty
Right,
much. But he's very calm. So it's not even like, at first, it doesn't seem like it. You really have to like watch it and listen to it. Because he's not going to start yelling at her.
That's the scary part.
Yeah, I
those
guess.
those are the people that scare me. Are the people that are so calm, but underneath that are so angry. Because you're just waiting.
It's like ducks.
I love that analogy. Mm-hmm. I love that analogy, but I love it for people who are calm, cool, and collected, but underneath are like working really hard.
Like-
Right. I don't love it for someone who's calm and cool in the exterior, but like fuming on the inside.
True. My boss called me a duck.
See, I like it. It's a good analogy for you. Sort
I'm
of.
like-
You're a little more stressed at home than
At home, but you don't see it. I'm very cool at work. I'm cool like a
Cucumber?
potato. Oh, cucumber. Yeah, but I work hard
cucumber.
underneath. I'm like, wow, I'm like a machine. But yeah, I do stress, but I do stress at home over stupid things. Nothing to do with John, actually, just in general.
Yeah. So I love what Claire says because she's making a lot of good points here. And she says, cut Jasmina some slack. Mm-hmm. She's put in this position, and so are you, Michael, but you're a different person. Claire's saying Jasmine is put in this position where she's being forced to be very open. She's being forced to be very vulnerable. She's on camera. She's with a guy she doesn't know. She's living with him. She's married to him. And she's probably trying to protect herself a little bit.
Yeah. So Michael just has to take it easy and earn her trust because he's the man. And he's also the one who starts these conflicts. So
Completely.
definitely something to think about. And I think Michael appreciated that perspective coming from someone he trusts.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good advice, and I hope he takes it to heart. So then Jasmina meets up with her friend, Sam.
And they're talking about the wedding, and the fact that Michael has female roommates came up, obviously. It's a big fight they had.
Before we get into it, I don't want to overlook the fact that Jasmina goes, I'm meeting up with my friend, Sam. She's been with her fiance for 8 years now, so I think she's the best person to get advice from.
Well, okay. First, I thought, has she been engaged for 8 years?
Yes.
No. I think she said she's been with her fiance for 8 years, meaning they've been together for 8 years. Maybe they got engaged 6 months ago. They're planning a wedding. But I went there too.
Okay, this is why we talk about this, because I was like, really? Someone who can't commit to getting married?
Yeah. Because he's a fiance. You cannot say, oh, she's been with her boyfriend for 8 years and they're engaged now. No,
Right.
He is the fiance.
And we don't know the guy, so she can't be like, oh, she's been with Ben for 8 years.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I hope that's the case. Otherwise, that's a terrible person.
No,
to get
I went
advice
there
from.
first, but I was like, wait a minute. No, like she seems like a normal person. Also, show me a girl who's going to be engaged for 8 years.
There are some.
For 8 years? I
There are
was
some.
freaking, oh my gosh. But no, I literally think they've been dating for 8 years and they're
That makes more
engaged
sense.
now. And that's the story.
Okay, so Jasmina starts talking about the honeymoon and how Michael took a tone with her. Not a fan of tones, Jasmina.
Which I'm with her.
No one likes a tone.
I'm annoyed by people who take a certain tone.
No one likes tone low, muscle tone.
You are annoyed with that too.
Tony. Yeah, no one likes a tone. Tone, it really is, and I go back and forth. It's sometimes what you say, and it's other times how you say it.
100%.
Yeah, no one likes a tone. Well, no one likes a, in quotes, tone.
Mm-hmm.
So then she says when she visited his place, she saw Michael lived with women.
Which would have been fine because she has a male roommate.
Would have been perfectly. Would have been
And-
great almost because we could understand
Yeah.
each other's perspective.
And I'm 100% Jasmina's. I take Jasmina's side because she said, I asked him, have you ever lived with a woman? We talked about it and he said no. The fact that he didn't mention it, that's crazy because she literally asked him. And if he says, oh, I thought like with my girlfriend, no, that's dumb. Because if she asks, have you ever lived with a female? You can say, oh, not with a girlfriend or anything, but I do have female roommates. Boom, that's it. It's
Yeah.
out there. Not a biggie.
Especially because Jasmina wasn't like, oh, I live with a boyfriend. She was like, yeah, I live with a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we get a quote from Sam that I'm currently having printed in poster form. I'm going to hang it all around our place because it's so beautiful. Sam says, communication comes from communicating. Sam.
That's very true.
Sam,
Indeed.
February 2022. Print it, hang it on your wall. What a quote. Communication comes from communicating.
Indeed.
It's brilliant. So, okay, she's like, my fiance tells me what he had for lunch. And in my mind, I'm like, ugh, I don't care, but it's better than secrets.
She said that?
Yeah.
I
you
missed
it,
it, yeah.
She's like, yeah, like I make my fiance tell me everything.
I tell you what I have for lunch.
If I ask, I guess.
Yeah, I ask you and then you ask me.
Yeah. But
I
just
don't ask you because of it's controlling. I just love food. So I'm always curious what you had because now I can be like, oh, maybe that's what I want tomorrow.
it just came across like Sam keeps her fiance on a leash because she's like, yeah, he tells me what he has for lunch. I don't care. But, no secrets. I need to know everything.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
Okay. Let's move on to Fiesta.
I like the balloon side. Did it say talk about this party?
Yeah, it was okay. I'm a big fan of puns. That one didn't make sense.
I was just going to say, I like the balloon side because it's a balloon side. I didn't love what it said.
Wait, are you saying balloon sign or side?
Sign. Did I say side?
I think you said I like the balloon side.
I would love, my birthday's coming up. I would love to wake up to a beautiful balloon sign.
What would it say?
It would say, happy birthday, T.
Okay.
Can be simple.
It's not gonna happen. So
It's not.
I don't have enough time. I don't think to do that.
Come
but
on.
maybe next year. You have a birthday every year, so I have chances. I have opportunity. What?
Okay. You bought me a sign last year, but we used it for you because it says happy birthday 30 plus, which is for us. We can use it for 8 years.
Yeah, but we ripped off the plus sign for you, I think. Was it your 30th? No, it was your 31st?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, you
can use
it for 10
until,
years.
yeah.
It's great. You know what? It's good. Okay. It's a taco theme party, this one. And
Mark the Shark would probably be like,
what is this?
what party is this? What party?
We need to talk about this because I have no idea what's happening here. Yeah. So things seem better between Michael and Jasmina since the PC meeting, right? Jasmina says it's good for now. It could be better, but it's good. So the friends and the family arrive. Michael has 0 guy friends, 0 guy family members, 0 guy roommates, 0 guys in his life.
He loves the ladies in general.
He loves the ladies, which is fine. I wonder about his work. He's a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Right? Are all of his clients women? Because that would be something.
Well,
I would not like, let's just be very clear. If you were a personal trainer and all of your clients were men, I would
well, yeah,
not
I'll
love
love that.
I would
But I'm
not love
sure
that.
he has some ladies too.
Some men?
I mean, some men.
You don't know. We don't know.
I'm guessing.
Yeah. So they play a game of charades and a very competitive game of charades.
Well, apparently both Mike and Jasmina are very competitive. Which I think that's one thing they can bond on or totally argue on.
Yeah, if it doesn't get too serious. Like, it's fun to be competitive and take a game somewhat seriously. Like, you'd rather have someone be into the game than be like, why are we playing this game?
I hate playing games.
Do you?
Yes. You know that about
You
me.
bought me, and it's sitting on our counter, and we're going to open it up eventually, the 90-day What Do You Meme game.
Well, let me finish. I love playing drinking games.
Yeah, I don't think our friends were
But like
surprised to hear
once
that.
we went to a party and we got there and people gave me a remote and we all were playing something on TV. I hated it.
Well, that was also
it was
because
the worst party ever.
that was because you didn't know anyone at that party.
Oh yeah, but I don't want to be playing games.
I know, but if you're in a room full of people you don't know, and then we're all, I forget what game it was, but it was a game where there was like questions on a TV, and you're like,
Yeah, we play it at work sometimes. I don't like it either.
that's a fine game if you know everyone, but if you don't know them, it's like, well, let's actually talk and get to know each other.
Yeah, still, like, I'm not a big game person. Like, give me a mic. I'll karaoke.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's my jam. Or like a drink. If I'm at a bar
Competitive karaoke.
and someone whips out What Do You Meme? Oh, hell yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's about it.
So Jasmina breaks off the talk with Michael's sister, Claire. And Claire is giving advice saying, you got to stand your ground with Michael. Got to tell him no. Be strong. Michael needs that.
Mm-hmm.
He's
He sure does.
apparently the type of guy who would never send food back at a restaurant.
Ugh.
Very much like me. I mean, I was a vegetarian for years until someone accidentally brought me a steak at a restaurant. And I was like, I guess I'm not a vegetarian anymore. I don't think I've ever sent food back.
I think I complained before for sure.
I don't think I'll eat it. Thank you. Like, I don't trust it.
Speaking of complaining, we recently got a takeout that wasn't good. Did you complain?
No, I forgot to.
If I
in air
ordered it
quotes,
on my
forgot.
app, I would totally complain.
Yeah. No, to me, it's like, you know what? I got food still. I'm going to eat it. I'll make the best of it.
Oh, no. If I got the food for free, I would probably look at it that way. I would be like, like, I'm not paying for this. It is what it is. If I spend $100 on dinner and it sucks, I'm gonna make sure I'll tell them that it sucked.
Okay, that's fair enough. Mm-hmm. You're also one to really lower the tip.
Well,
If-
that's the punishment. Well, not if the food sucks, but the waitress or waiter were great.
Okay,
I would still tip them,
Fair.
obviously, right?
Fair.
But we discussed this on one of our previous podcasts. We experienced very, very
Oh,
rude
yeah.
waitress.
we don't need to go back into
No,
that.
but I'm saying that's where when I lowered the tip,
Yeah,
John never lets me. Well, that's another
just
story.
so non-confrontational. I'm like, yep, thank you.
Well, you have to learn. If you're being rude to me and literally ignoring us,
they're not necessarily going to learn unless you leave them notes on how to be better. They might
and I
just think,
wanted to do it. I wanted to write it down, and you stopped
if
me.
you leave a 5% tip, they're just going to be like, oh man, those people are cheap. They're not going to think it's about them. They're going to think it's about
Oh
you.
no, I would say it. I would say it. But you never let me.
Yeah, so just get out of there,
Yeah, but
Move on.
again, it's your job. You should do it right. Even if you hate it, put a smile on your face and be nice. If you're being rude and you ignore your customers and you expect 20%, please.
Okay. Speaking of moving on, can we move on
Yes.
to a couple that shouldn't even be on this show anymore, but I don't hate that they still are.
Alyssa and Chris.
So Chris is home Skyping Mother Florine to tell her everything that's happened. And he tells her after the wedding, everything started to really go awry. And he gives his mom sort of a play-by-play. Mm-hmm. Everything, all the shit that went down. And the first thing Florine says is, seems like she wanted her 15 minutes of fame.
Like, it looks like she robbed you.
Mm-hmm.
And because she and got her 15 minutes of fame. That's actually a really bad fame because she looks like a total asshole.
I know, but I still think there's going to be people out there that are Team Melissa. Not the majority, but enough where she doesn't think she was wrong.
I would actually not love to see or meet those people because they're probably
they're,
assholes.
They're not our people. Florine, on the other hand, Florine is one of us. She's all of us because she says, I think Alyssa was just trying to get out of this without looking bad.
For sure.
It's like, Florine, did you get an early edit of this show? Because you are absolutely right.
And it's crazy because Alyssa is trying so hard on the camera not to look bad, saying, I've tried my best. I'm a good person. But they keep doing all the throwbacks to her,
Oh my
literally showing the exact opposite. And she just looks like a total idiot because of, hello, there are cameras on you, girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, either be a nicer person or own up to it.
100%. So Florine's like, she's probably doing you a favor. Do you want to spend decades with someone like that? And we're all collectively saying no.
No, and that's why Chris asked for a divorce.
Yeah, he made the right move.
Yeah, he's ready for the next person, and
Bring it out.
he
And
may
I'm
need
sure
a
he's
little
got
time to move on or like get past this, which I understand.
absolutely no. This was I hate to say it, this was not a real relationship. It's
No,
not
it
like it's
wasn't.
not like he was married to this girl or engaged to this girl or dated this girl for a year.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying this is how I see things. Imagine you get paired up with someone that doesn't even want to be near you.
That's
What
an
does
Alyssa
it
problem.
do to your head?
Nah, that's an Alyssa problem. That's not a Chris
What does it do
problem.
to your head? It must definitely do something to you, and you probably
Nope.
need some time to get over this.
No, because I'm telling you, that was one crazy person telling Chris you do weird things with your hands. There's currently 450 girls in his DMs right now.
Oh, for sure.
Saying, you're
I mean,
so hot, you deserve better.
he's a good
fine.
dude.
He's fine.
Yeah.
I hope he's fine. You fine,
Yeah.
Chris? Let us know. You okay? We're here for you. Alyssa, she's meeting up with her friend Caitlin,
Mm-hmm.
who missed the wedding, but she didn't miss much. I would have been pissed if I bought a dress for that wedding
Mm-hmm.
and then you gave a gift.
Well, she bought 10 dresses.
Do you get your air fryer back from that wedding? Right?
That's a good question, actually.
So Caitlin asks about Chris and
Well, before we go there, they rescue animals together that Alyssa's probably allergic to.
which again, it's fine. We've said it. You can be allergic to animals and rescue them. You can load up on medicine. That's fine. But it was just a little convenient that you're like, I can deal with all of these animals that I rescue, but I can't deal with your dog, Chris.
No. And plus, she has a dog. She's like, got used to the dog. I'm fine. Just get used to Chris's dog. Gee.
She could get used to Chris's dog. She couldn't get used to Chris.
For sure.
That's the problem. So, yeah. First thing Alyssa says is, well, Chris is not my type, but I tried to push through.
And this is where all the throwbacks are happening.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah, I tried
Give
to
it
push
to
through,
her.
but everything I learned, it was just worse and worse. And Caitlin tries to call her out at first and is like, it's kind of hard to believe, like, his friends and family would say things that don't portray him in a good light.
Which they didn't. Like, whatever they said, they didn't mean it anything bad. The fact that they said, oh, yeah, Chris is like the type of person, he loves to correct people sometimes, it's fun. That's not a bad thing. It's not like, oh, Chris keeps guns underneath the bed, and every time there is a deer outside, he just like shoots that baby deer.
No.
That's bad.
Well, I mean, that would probably turn Alyssa on. She loves that cowboy lifestyle. But what the friend did say, which didn't come out great, was he's very focused on his work. He's always on his phone.
Yeah, but again, I don't think the friend meant anything bad. I think the friend was trying to say he's a hard worker.
Yeah.
He didn't phrase it right.
The dude is on Married at First Sight. He wants to get married.
But I feel like a normal person would be like, yeah, you know what? That's great. Chris works hard. Hopefully, now when he has me, he's going to find some time. We'll find out, right? Alyssa's like, okay, so I would be a second to this? Oh, hell no.
And here's the truth is Alyssa heard that. And let's say it's true. She never gave Chris a chance to prove it one way or the other. She never lived real life with Chris to see, oh, does he put me first or is he always on his phone?
But in her eyes, she tried the best. She did all she could to make this work. Poor Alyssa.
Caitlin asked about the honeymoon and if they had like conversations about this. And Alyssa goes, not really, but it was a really small resort. So if he wanted to talk to me, he could find me.
And then we saw the throwback of her telling the producers, like, I don't want to talk to him. Not right now. I'll get him away from here. I don't want to have a conversation with him. Dude.
Right. Saying one thing, seeing another.
What a liar.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then we get Alyssa telling Caitlin about Chris's decision about wanting to get a divorce. And of course, Alyssa trying to paint herself out to be the bigger person, saying, I told him I wanted to try. I was willing to do anything to move forward. I wanted to make it work, but Chris just didn't want to.
You wanted to make it work after you literally talked shit about him that whole time? Please.
Yeah, give me a break.
That's how she's trying to save her ass.
Yeah, and I loved when Caitlin said, well, I wish I could have met him to make my own assessment because sometimes you're a little hard on guys. And then she goes, but from what you're saying, he doesn't sound like the guy for you.
Yes.
Which is all true. Chris is not the guy for Alyssa.
No.
So
I think there's no guy for Alyssa.
Here's the best part. Well, one of the best parts. A producer asks Alyssa what's next. And she goes, I'll probably pack my bags, move to Texas, find my cowboy there. But I'll talk to my psychic first. And the internet exploded. Mm-hmm. My Facebook, my Instagram, well, it's ours. It's our shared Married to Reality Pod Instagram. It was everyone saying, Texas is full. We don't have room for you. There's no cowboys left. Like, nobody wanted Alyssa.
Nobody wants her anywhere.
Yeah, nobody wants Alyssa.
Yeah. I hope her psychic tells her that.
Okay. Here we go. The best, most dramatic
best.
part of this episode. The whole episode was good. This was fantastic. Mm-hmm. The group outing, the group bowling. And let me just start by saying shout out to New England. If you guys were wondering what those weird things were in the bowling alley.
Yeah, I was wondering.
It's called candlepin bowling.
Wait a minute. We went bowling in Connecticut at least twice.
They have normal bowling too, but candlepin bowling. It's a New England thing, maybe in Canada, but that's what those
I literally was thinking that. I was like, what are these little thingies?
Yeah, it was candlepin bowling. And so shout out to New England. We see you. We see you, New England. And so the whole gang's there. And this is where we learn Mark the Shark has never had a taco, which is probably more confusing than candlepin bowling for a lot of people. But then they start talking about toilet seats and leaving them up versus down.
And we learned that Katina still has some beef with Lindsay.
Some taco beef.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yum.
Yeah. I'm not going to take sides on this beef because I don't know who was in the right or the wrong here, if it was Katina or Lindsay.
True. But what I'm going to take sides on is that when Steve is talking, trying to make his point, and Lindsay jumps in and trying to talk over him.
Oh.
That's wrong.
Lindsay's eyes just about rolled down the lane and knocked over some of those candle pins when they were having that conversation. Yeah. And she says, like, I read somewhere you can't have intimacy without someone before you have conflict.
And like Katina and Jasmine are just like, oh my guys, like stop it. Like let Steve finish his thought.
Yeah.
So Steve went back to the toilet seat.
Yeah.
And it's so true. Pump the brakes. Like
But
you
it's-
don't have
it's-
to be the center of attention all the time.
She needs to make her point and be like, I'm right. That's it. It's all about her controlling the conversation.
True.
That's it. Yeah. And so Steve turns to Chris and asks, what's happening with you guys? And Chris comes out and says, well, when PC came, it was a tough conversation. And he was such a gentleman about the way he broke the news, because he turned to Alyssa and he goes, you want to take this or you want me to? Like, he didn't want to come in there and be like, yeah, I dumped her ass. He was like, how do you want to approach this? Like, I don't want to make you look bad. I want to have this
I
be
really
fair.
like Chris.
Yeah. And she was like, you can say it, you can talk. And so he was like, yeah, well, when PC came in, we had a tough conversation and we landed on getting a divorce. And he's like, us not being together, it's what's going to make us both happy.
But Alyssa's like, it's super hard for me, the situation we are in. I tried my best.
I tried my best.
Stop. I love how
I
Elijah
wanted
Wood
this really
sees right
bad.
through her.
Yeah, everyone does.
Everyone does, but Elijah Wood is the one who speaks up about it, which is great.
Yeah, for sure.
He
Yeah.
feels bad for Chris. He's like, Alyssa's full of it. Like, stop it. Stop lying.
She's what?
She's full of it, yeah.
Yeah. So then everyone starts bowling. And Mark and Lindsay start arguing. Because Mark's pissed at the way Lindsay acted toward Katina. He's a little embarrassed. And I get this. When you're in a couple, the other person is a reflection of you.
For sure.
The way I act, it reflects on you, T. And the way you act is a reflection on me. Less so, I'll say, in this circumstance on maths, because they didn't choose each other,
True.
right? Like if you go out to a party and you're wild and drunk and making a fool of yourself, people look at me and go, John chose to be with that? John likes that? So I subscribe to the couples are reflections of each other's. This maths is a little bit different because they didn't choose each other, but still, you're a team. And Mark says that. We're a team. And Lindsay starts going off on Mark. So he walks away. And Lindsay, this is the first time she oversteps on this episode when she yells out, like, call your mom. See if she lets you win tonight. That's
she's
so emasculating, so infantilizing. It's so rude
It
in front of
is.
everyone. Like, forget it, even saying it to someone in private, in front of everyone saying that.
And she was like, I am your team. I put on a hazmat suit for a shitty apartment. It's like,
Because she thought
Come on.
because she thought, oh, this is what I need to do. I'm going to take control of this. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to save the day. She did it because she wanted to be in power and in control of that situation. Not because I'm being nice. It's like,
Yeah.
no, you're going to fuck this up. You don't know what you're doing. Let me go in there and do it for you.
so then we see like MTS walks away and Chris joins him. They're sitting like,
Please say it.
what?
Where are they sitting?
Like on the stairs?
On this gross carpeted stair. This is almost as bad as putting a suitcase on a bed.
It
is
is, for
sitting on
sure.
that gross carpeted bowling alley stair.
But this is how I feel, right? Right now, after COVID, I'm very sensitive to all germs. So the second I go to a restaurant and I sit on a chair, I'm going to wash my pants. And I'm going to wash your pants too.
I mean, let's be honest
so,
here.
but the difference between the suitcase and these pants are that they can come home, take them off, and wash them.
Are they going to?
Well, that's a whole different question.
But what's actually worse, and I didn't mention it at the top, is they were bowling and eating pizza.
Ah!
Imagine touching those balls that everyone else's hands have touched.
I can.
and
I
then
don't think I
eating
will ever
pizza.
go bowling. I would have to wear my chicken gloves.
And think about like everyone like touches that same wet
Oh my
sponge
gosh.
to get their hands moist.
100% not.
many issues.
I think I'm done with bowling forever.
So many issues. But okay. Yeah, they're sitting on these gross carpet covered stairs. And Mark says, I'm not afraid to talk to Lindsay, but it's going to cause a fight. And I don't
And
want
that's literally what I said before.
don't want to fight.
He is afraid to talk to her because it's going to end up into a fight.
Yeah, which is terrible, right? So Mark says we have different personalities. That's an issue. And while he's talking to Chris, you see Lauren, the producer, go into the bathroom where Lindsay is hiding.
Behind a closed door. So we don't see Lindsay. We just hear Lindsay.
We don't see anything. We just hear Lindsay going off. And she says, you know what, Lo? I think I'm done. Real talk, real talk. He makes 60 grand a month selling gym memberships. Let me tell you, wait, did I write that as I'm reading this?
Mm-hmm. Literally, Lindsay talks shit about MTS
Wait.
making 60,000 a year selling gym
A
memberships.
year.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just reading my notes and I read 60 grand a month.
No, that would be a whole different.
I was like,
that would be a whole
wait.
different thing. No, making 60 grand a year
year,
selling
yeah.
gym memberships.
Okay. Yeah. Let me tell you how to be a big bad man. Yeah. So disrespectful.
Oh my gosh.
Like, is he happy? Because if he makes 60 grand and you make whatever, like, you'll be fine. Mm-hmm. Right? So is he happy? Because that's important.
Oh, for sure.
She doesn't care about that. And then Jen, the producer, goes in for backup. And Lindsay goes, I'm not going back out. I'm done. I'm sick of my husband. Tell me one other wife that would deal with this. She's yelling so loud, Mark can hear her from the carpet-covered stairs.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild how it just
is wild.
escalated to this level from seemingly like they're in a good place.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, he poops with the door open. Sure, he pumped the brakes and doesn't want to bang her real hard. But they seem to be okay.
Yeah.
And now it's, I'm done. I'm sick of my husband.
Mm-hmm.
Bashing him for his salary, for his job.
Mm-hmm.
On mic to the producers when you know there's cameras there. You're trash. That's trash. That's trash behavior.
It is.
It's trash behavior. Yeah. So immature. Can't stand it. She's like, go back to your roach-infested apartment. I'm going back to South Boston to live my good life. And
No.
Mark is such a good-hearted person who puts everyone else first, right? Would probably not judge anyone for their salary or for their career. But here Lindsay is judging left and right every choice Mark has made. And it's really sad to see.
It really is.
It's good drama though.
Yeah. Great drama for us,
great
but
drama.
I felt bad for MTS.
Yeah, I don't see these two.
No, me neither.
And we
We'll
got
see.
Stephen Noy with issues.
Yeah.
We got Mark and Lindsay with issues.
But we saw the previews for next episode, and they were doing good again. So we'll see.
Oh, were they? How do you come back from that?
I don't know.
Guys, if you're watching 90 Day, before the 90 Day, it's like a Gino and Jasmine situation where you watch her launch the toothbrush out the front door and you go, how do they come back from that?
Or when she takes the head off your
She
head.
takes the hat off and you're like, how do they come back from that? And then they do. So
We'll see.
they'll probably come back. Anyways, what an episode. What an ending. Thank you guys for listening. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Make sure you're following us on Instagram at Married to Reality Pod. Of course, we shared the big news at the top of the show that we're going to be covering below deck. And if you were
Yes.
following us on Instagram, you'd have a say in that. So make sure you're following us at Married to Reality Pod. Shoot us a message. I don't know that we're going to cover any more shows right now. I think 3 is our lucky number.
Yeah, for now.
Right? But let us know what you guys are watching, if we should be watching something else. Also, make sure you're following the podcast wherever you listen. Look down and smash that follow button.
Guys, smash it like it's as hot as this whole episode.
Woo-wee. Also, guys, we got merch. Teresa said we can't do sorry, I'm busy on my couch.
Because it's been done.
Sure,
We
but
are OG people.
we'll come up with some-
OG.
We'll come up with something else, and it'll be at marriedtorealitypodcast.com. There's a button for the store, so check that out. And thank you guys again for the reviews. We appreciate it so much. I think I've said it all. Have you said it all?
I've said it all.
All right. That means we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.